Hello and welcome to another evening of stock car racing here on Premier Sports, where for the second time this season we're in the hills of the Peak District at Buxton Raceway. Just over 20 BriscaF Formula 1 stock cars ready to do battle on this tight and tricky tarmac raceway, supported by the V8 Hotstocks and the small but spectacular Stocks cars making their first appearance on Premier Sports this season. Changeable conditions, but the drivers ready and eager to do battle, including a number of leading lights of tarmac racing. We begin with the heats for the BriscaF1s and the final for the Stocks cars in Part 1, and the finals and Grand Nationals for the V8s and F1s in Part 2. But first of all, we caught up with one of the leading ladies of UK stock car racing, Phoebe Wayman.
2-on-1, Phoebe Wayman. We're here at Buxton today, you're racing the V8, but you raced the Formula 1 last night in the proper meeting. How did it go?
I absolutely loved it. Actually did really well. Luckily, I'm really grateful for my boyfriend because he lent me his F1, so really thankful for him for that. Did really good. I got 7th in my first heat. Second heat the clutch went, so we managed to fix that for the final. Got out in the final, I think I got 11th, and then in the national I got 9th, and last bended me uncle for 9th place, so yeah, wicked awesome meeting.
It's a bit different to the V8, you have a bit more power and things. How do you find the difference?
I find the F1 a lot easier to drive. I think V8s are a lot harder to drive. I think the competition in F1s is a lot more. There is a lot more competition because everyone's kind of on par in the F1s. So in that sense it is harder, but I do find the F1 actually easier to drive than the V8. So
you're doing very well in the V8s at the moment. You're right to the top of the tree. And when's the switch coming?
So I'm second in the points at the moment, so doing really well there. Just got to keep fighting for it. I think I lost a couple points not last weekend, the weekend before at Skegness, because I was getting consistent places, but first place was just up there, first and second, so you pulled away from me a little bit then, but hopefully I'll make up some points today and see how we get on.
And currently at the moment you're still father and daughter British champions?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It was so amazing. I don't know, I was just so nervous for him, and then I didn't even think about him retaining it because, I don't know why, I just didn't even think about it. And then I was like, he's won, the British has only been held at Sheffield 3 times, and he's won every single one, and I think that's just incredible.
Well, good luck for the rest of the season. Hopefully we'll see you back out in the Formula 1 again soon.
Thank you very much.
21 BriscaF1s on track then for heats at number 1 in a rather windy Buxton Raceway. Things to look out for include the world champion Phoebe Wayman Jr., father of Phoebe, who we were just talking to. Tom Harris is out in this one, also Craig Finnegan, both former world champions. Danny Wayman's out there as well, Luke Davidson, Matt Newson and plenty more. Frankie Wayman Jr. as well. There's Luke Davidson alongside Matt Newson at the front of the red tops, Ben Riley in 422, Ben Herdman in 207. A number of these cars arriving fresh from Birmingham. Last night, Nigel Green won the final there in rather wet conditions, but Nigel not here today. So they head round towards the green flag. It'll be 16 laps for heat number 1 then, 21 cars. It's an all-in format today, 460 Chris Cook and Wayne Marshall in 483 in the Matt Newson hire car lead the field away. Down towards the first turn, already bumpers going in from the red tops on board with Ben Herdman and wallop into the side of Paul Hines. He goes in 259, oh dear. So they haven't gone far. Ben Herdman, Paul Hines, there are a couple of others caught up in there. So 401 Steve Webster going through into the lead. Ben Herdman gets clobbered again by one of the yellow tops. That was Aaron Leach in number 70. The white graders have already been dispatched. There's Chris Cook going through. It's Steve Webster, number 401, who leads. 101 of Tristan Jackson in second place. Red tops already overlapping with the lower graders. Matt Newson at the front of them. A lock up there from Stuart Cheville in 518. Another one gets walloped straight in. That's Aaron Leach getting fired in. Didn't see who by. But it's Webster who leads from Jackson. And Stuart Cheville in 3rd place in 518. The Scotsman. Yellow graders 1, 2 and 3. Stuart Cheville, a yellow and blue top it looks like there, and he dispatches Tristan Jackson. That's allowed Carl Hawkins to come through into 2nd, and Matt Newson, we're only on lap 3 and he's already up into 3rd place and he's going for 2nd. Matt Newson got the break from the front of the Reds. He's already up into 2nd place now, past Carl Hawkins. 4th is Bradley Harrison, the first blue grader in number 25, but it's 401. Steve Webster, former saloon stock car world champion, who leads the way. Going clear ahead of Matt Newson, then Hawkins, Harrison, Davidson and Jackson. Stuart Cheville is next. Steve Webster controlling the pace. We've already seen his brother Sean have a few wins this year, including a final at Northampton. There's the number 55, Craig Finnegan, chasing 84, Tom Harris. Stu Cheville slowing up in 518, looks like he's got a problem. Dropping back down the order. was third early on. Mr. Jackson caught on the outside line there. Harris and Finnegan go past him. Your leader is Steve Webster in the 401 car. The other car involved on the first lap there was Ben Riley in 422, but he's still going. There's the bump. Luke Davidson takes up another place in 464, trying to chase down Matt Newson, who's catching our leader. 401 Steve Webster. Davidson up in the third place. Bradley Harrison passes Carl Hawkins into fourth position. A few spots of rain on the camera lens. That's no surprise here at Buxton though, because you can get every type of weather at once at Buxton due to its location on top of the Peak District. There's the world champion Junior Wayman. He's up into fifth place now ahead of Hawkins, then Harris and Finnegan. Matt Newson has caught our race leader, Steve Webster. Junior Wayman attacks Bradley Harrison in 25. Now the lead under threat here for Steve Webster in 401, the man from Sheffield. Ahead of Matt Newson in number 16. They come up to lap Wayne Marshall in 483. Newson trying to fire Webster into the back marker there. 3 wide off turn 4, and through goes Matt Newson into the lead. Matt Newson, car number 16. So a mixed season so far. Very busy with his hire cars, giving newcomers a chance to experience the sports. Hire car today being driven by Wayne Marshall, 483. The car's just been lapped there, the green machine. Bradley Harrison further back in 25. He's in fourth place. Under threat from Tom Harris fairly shortly in car 84. It's Newson who leads the way ahead of Luke Davidson, now going through the second ahead of Steve Webster. And in fourth place we've got Junior Wayman. Further back Bradley Harrison under fire and passed by Tom Harris and Craig Finnegan. Behind Harrison it's Carl Hawkins in 175. Quieter conclusions this BriscaF1 heats at number 1. It is an all-in format today, 2 heats, a final and a Grand National. Can Luke Davidson catch Matt Newson for the lead here? Junior Wayman passes Webster now into third position. Newson ahead of Davidson by less than a car length there. Webster fighting back on the back of Wayman. 2 laps to go now. We're coming up to lap Chris Cook in 460, the only non-Chevrolet engine car. He's powered by a Ford V8. Ford about to be lapped by the Chevys. Here goes the 16 of Matt Newson into the last lap, chased by Luke Davidson. It's just between these two now. Junior Wayman in third. Back straight, coming up to lap Paul Hopkins in the 278 car, the yellow Raider. He moves out of the way. The leaders come through. Davidson has a look. He's not going to get close enough though. And number 16, Matt Newson, takes the win. Second for Davidson. Very well cleared of Junior Wayman. Tom Harris coming through for fourth. Long-time leader Steve Webster rounding out the top 5. So good stuff there in heat number 1 for the BriscaF1s, although for Ben Herdman and Ben Riley plus Paul Hines, it didn't get very far in that one. They all went out on the first turn. Newson the winner by half a second ahead of Luke Davidson, with Junior Wayman and Tom Harris next. Steve Webster rounding out the top 5. 18 of the 21 starters went the distance in heat 1.
16 Matt Newson, winner of heat 1, survived the first bend carnage and drove away into the distance.
Yeah, seemed we got a lucky break there, to be fair, and we were away and gone.
Track conditions got a little bit tricky, started drizzling a little bit, made it slippy, but not a problem.
Yeah, I didn't even know that, to be fair. It wasn't until I stopped and thought, oh, it's raining a bit, but I'd felt the car go off a bit. Now I realise that's what it was. So yeah, no, at the time I just thought it was, you know, just changing a bit of condition, but yeah, we survived.
And Britain Heat 2 next, it's all in format today, so you'll be trying for that again.
Yeah, to be fair, see if we can do it for the rest of the day. To be fair, Luke was quite quick, he was catching me at the end, but yeah, we'll just keep at it and see what we can do.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
20 cars for heat number 2. I think the only one we've lost is Paul Hines following that first bend tangle in heat number 1. Matt Newson, the man going for his double here. No doubt to stop him, Luke Davidson, Tom Harris and the Wayman clan. There is Luke Davidson in front of the red tops. Ben Riley in there in 422, as well as Ben Herdman in 207, hoping to get a bit further than they did in heat 1. We're on board with Junior Wayman in number 1, the world and British champion. British champion for the second year in a row, of course, last week at Sheffield. Tom Harris led the first half of the race, but he got walloped straight in, starting just in front of Junior Wayman here. We go then on a rather wet track for heat number 2, the rain starting to come down. Here we go with the second heat for the Brisca Formula 1s over 16 laps. Already one car getting shoved out to the fence. That's John Fortune, number 164, his first weekend in BriscaF1, the Scotsman. He's a former BriscaF2 world champion, racing the ex-Daniel van Spijker car here this weekend. Made his debut yesterday at Birmingham. He's taking on the Waymans in a very entertaining Grand National event, which was won by Ben Herdman in 2:07. So the race settles in then. Steve Webster once again takes up the lead ahead of 460 Chris Cook in the purple Ford powered car. Aaron Leach in number 70 coming through into second place. He got fired into the wall early in Heat 1, so looking to make up for it here. 4:01 Steve Webster leads, and again Chris Cook gets dispatched there. That was by Carl Hawkins in 1:75. Spray rising there as we look back from the race leader. Steve Webster up in the clouds here at Buxton Raceway. Seen meetings abandoned here due to fog and even due to snow at either end of the season in the past. Stuart Sheville sliding wide there, another ex-saloon stock car star. He's had quite a rivalry with the Webster brothers over the years in the saloons. Maybe that's going to continue here in the F1. Luke Davidson going well, he's the lead red top. Fourth is Bradley Harrison, Tom Harris is fifth, Sheville down to sixth, Craig Fiddick seventh, Ben Riley eighth. There goes Davidson in 464. Moving to the inside of the number 70 of Aaron Leach. Very smart new car for this year, has already had its first win at Birmingham. Forward with Junior Wayman. Looking forward from his front bumper, chasing Ben Riley in 422. He had a win at Birmingham last night as well. Loves racing in the wet, does Ben. Webster under fire from Luke Davidson, who's going through to take the lead as they come out of turn 2. Yes, he's got him. Luke Davidson in 464. His dad Jamie, one of the biggest sponsors of BriscaF1 racing, a former racer himself, as is Luke's brother Lee, who was number 494 a few years ago. Leach chasing there, Tom Harris in 84 there, third and fourth now. Fifth is Bradley Harrison, sixth we've got Stu Sheville with Ben Riley, Craig Fiddick, and Junior Wayman only up to ninth so far. Somebody spun into the wall there, that's Paul Hopkins in the 278 car. The yellow grade up. Brad Harrison under 518 of Stu Sheville. There's Riley, Fiddick, Wayman, and Matt Newson behind them. Newson rather more subdued run in this heat number 2. See if he can come through in the closing stages and try and challenge for his second win. Slipping and sliding their way down the home straight there. Bradley Harrison a bit sideways. Up to third goes Tom Harris in 84. Straight in to lose out on the British title. Last time out at Sheffield. Chased by 4:01 Steve Webster. They're battling for third place, lapping Wayne Marshall in the Newson hire car, number 483. Waiting for the lap boards to come out now. There's only a few laps left to go. Sheville under fire from Ben Riley, and Riley going around the outside. We don't see that too often. I've said that Ben Riley's a bit of a rain master, proving it there as he goes through on the outside. Matt Newson through on the inside. He's got past both of them. Craig Fiddick coming through as well in the 55, and Stuart Sheville's going to go straight on with a bit of help from Junior Wayman and loses another place. A tough race for the Scots, this one. On board with Junior Wayman, the rain getting worse by the look of the onboard camera there, but he gets the bumper in on Ben Riley. Takes him coming out of turn 4. The lap boards are now out. Less than 5 to go for Luke Davidson. He's away and clear up front in the 464 car. Lapping 183. That's Steve Whittle, the blue grade up. Tom Harris in second. Webster third in 4:01. Everybody else fighting for fourth. Here they come down the home straight. Ben Riley under fire once again. That's from John Fortune in the 164 car. Harrison gets through as well in the 25. We've lost Aaron Leach, he's pulled up in number 70. So on the centre, Chris Cook and Paul Hopkins, among others. Carl Hawkins out of the race as well. Junior Wayman attacks Stuart Sheville, goes through into turn 1. Fortune attacking Harrison, Riley behind them, then Ben Herdman in 207. Still reasonably busy in the midfield, but up front Luke Davidson making this race his own in 464. Down the back straight he goes. Surely heading for victory in this one. Comes up to lap Tristan Jackson in the 101 car. There's a couple of laps to go now for Luke Davidson. He's almost the length of a straight ahead of Tom Harris in car 84. That battle further back still raging. John Fortune attacking Ben Riley. And into turns 1 and 2 they come. Luke Davidson is heading for victory. And there is the checkered flag. Luke Davidson takes the win by a clear margin ahead of Tom Harris. Third place will go to Matt Newson. Strong drive from him in the closing stages there. He was 10th, I think, with 5 laps to go. Steve Webster rounding out the first 4. confirm the rest of the results in a moment. So, no mistaking your race winner, Luke Davidson, nearly 3 seconds up on Tom Harris at the flag. Matt Newson in third got the fastest lap, finishing ahead of Steve Webster. Craig Finnegan, 15 of the 20 starters going the distance in heat number 2.
4.64, Luke Davison, winner of Heat 2 in a Jamie Davison sponsors meeting.
Yeah, it makes it all worthwhile, doesn't it? Dad sponsored the meeting today. We're coming with victory. We're trying to get that final trophy for him today as well.
Yeah, he puts a lot of effort into the sport and a lot of money into the sport, so it is nice to give something back.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that think different, but he does do a lot for other drivers, but you can't please everyone, can you?
And hopefully conditions will be a bit drier in the final. It certainly got wet out there.
Yeah, the wind's up, so the track will be drying fast, but wet or dry, we're not really bothered. We'll take it as it is.
Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
And now for something completely different. These are the stocks cards. They may be small, but they're very spectacular, very entertaining indeed, and we've got 30 of them on track for their final here on a drying track at Buxton. The heat's won by the gold top, number 1, Danny Nunn, and by 22, Ryan Jones. They start from towards the back of the grid, same grading system used as in the F1s for the stocks carts. We've got 1 or 2 hire drivers out as well. The carts with the orange aerofoils are hire carts. You can hire one out and have a go yourself. So who knows what's going to happen here. 12 laps the distance, 30 stocks carts on track. British champion in there with the black and white roof, Jordan Thackeray in 3:24. Here we go then, ready for 12 laps of action. The stocks carts get underway. Racing down towards the first turn with all those red tops further back in the order. There's Kane Morgan in 2:38. On the outside of the red tops, and already we've got a spinner. 35 Graham Wheat goes spinning out. Red tops bouncing off each other further back in the order. Lee Sumner sent wide there in 1:12 by number 2 of Steve Robinson. Here's the battle for the lead. Chris Girdler in 66, the ex-sprint competitor, leads the way in the early stages. Blue tops sliding about all over the place. Joe Higgins in 2:29 getting the bumper in on 22. One of our heat winners, Ryan Jones, the ex-Rebels gold top. Chris Girdler, who leads the way in the early stages in kart number 66. There's the gold top, Danny Nunn, number 1, sent wide by Sarah Royal in 3:13. 2:65, Carl Nunn in there, that's Danny's brother. Plenty of action all the way down the order in the early stages of this stocks karts final. Be wide there among some of the red tops, it's still Girdler who leads the way. You push and shove all the way down the order. Bumper goes in there from Higgins on the back of Matthew Fenton in 2:12. The mechanic for Team Wayman in the BriscaF1s as well as his stocks kart racing. Battling with Sarah Royal in 3:13. She's going well, one of the leading ladies of the formula. Sliding out wide there, I think that was Joe Higgins in 2:29. The spin for Lee Sumner in 1:12. He clips the wall on turn 4. Up there, the stationary yellow flag is out. It's 66 Girdler that leads. 9:02, that's one of the higher carts. Josh Birkin giving chase to him in 2nd place. And here's the battle for 3rd. Mark McCann up there in 64. 8:16 Mark Lawson and Jordan Thackeray as well. We've got yellow flags for the spun cart of Lee Sumner. So caution period there. Chris Girdler still in the lead in kart 66. And the white grader hanged on in front. We get back underway. There goes Kane Morgan in 2:38, a graduate of the Junior Stocks Kart Series. Senior and junior can share the same kart. Frantic action for the lead here. Girdler's dropped back. It's Matthew Lloyd in number 8 who's now got the lead. But for how much longer? There's about 6 or 7 of them together into turns 3 and 4, all trying to go for the lead. Push and shove around turn 4. Mark McCann has got sideways. Oh, he spun out and he gets hit head on by Danny Nunn, the gold top in number 1. Oh, his kart's going everywhere at turn 4. Complete mayhem there. Damage to Rob Key in 5:28. The blue kart there, he pulls up. The yellows are out again. Oh my goodness. So Mark McCann involved there, Danny Nunn and a couple of others. I think Ryan Jones was taken out in that as well. It's Jordan Thackeray up front ahead of Alistair Houghton in 4:71. So the British champion in 3:24 has got the lead ahead of Houghton in 2nd place. Old rivals from the junior class, these two, before they turn 16 years of age. And 3:80 Liam Powell coming through into 3rd place. Now the back straight, somebody else getting spun out, flying off to the centre. Oh, there's karts everywhere again off turn 2. Robinson's in there, Wheat, Sarah Royal, 8:10 of Amy Havercroft as well. Battle for the lead between Houghton and Thackeray up front. Then it's Powell, Joe Higgins coming through into 3rd, but the yellows are out again. Well, this is absolute madness from the stocks cars. They're all over each other today. There's Matthew Fenton getting spun out in 2-1-2. It was him we saw go flying off onto the infield, courtesy of James Hall Morton, the ex-Legends racer. in number 132, another graduate of the junior class. And as a result of that, as everybody else piled up behind him, Matthew Fenton ended up perched on the grass on the infield. So another casualty there. This mayhem-filled Stocks Karts final. 471 Alistair Houghton with the lead ahead of Jordan Thackray, Joe Higgins, Liam Powell and Matthew Lloyd. They start bumper to bumper. They're back underway down towards the first turn. Joe Higgins having a look on the inside, the son of this formula's promoter, Ian Higgins, aka Captain Chaos. Up the inside, he's going to take the lead as they come out of turn 2. Ian Higgins, ex-BriscaF1 racer. His son Joe takes the lead ahead of Houghton, Thackray, James Hall-Morton up to 4th. All of these 4 graduates of the junior Stocks Karts, and 147 of Tim Faultless gets spun out there, and he's taking his brother James with him in 47. Brotherly love there at turn 4. Oh dear, Joe Higgins under fire now from Houghton. He's going to retake the lead in the red and yellow 471 kart out of turn 2. Jordan Thackray back up into 2nd. Matthew Lloyd getting squeezed by ex-gold top Dex Linden in 58 there into turn 3. Well, this is the ideal formula for newcomers to oval racing. It's marketed at, so if you want to have a go, we mentioned earlier, senior and junior drivers can share the same cars as well. So this is an ideal way to get into oval racing as a newcomer. You can hire a kart as well. There's Matthew Fenton, he's going again after his earlier spin, under fire from Graham Wheat in number 35. Thackray attacking Joe Higgins, they're fighting for 3rd place now. It's James Hall-Morton up ahead of them. Your leader is Alistair Houghton in 471, starting to break away. Hall-Morton 2nd. Bumpers going in further back. Liam Powell on the attack. We've got yellow flags again. What's the reason this time? Ah, there's the reason. We've got a wheel on the track. Now, who has thrown that? Number 73, Craig Underhill, the man who's lost the wheel. Flying into the wall there on the turn. We get back underway then. Houghton's lead has been eradicated. He's under attack as they go down towards turn number 1. In goes the bumper from James Hall-Morton. Joe Higgins behind him, then Jordan Thackray. Everybody else trying to be 5th. There's a tangle there coming off turn 2, and that's Chris Butcher in 27 getting spun out, the former gold top. His son Alex has been a gold top in the juniors as well, but Chris out of this one. James Hall-Morton gets bumpered wide there, out of 2nd on turns 3 and 4. 2 laps to go. I think we got yellows again. Yes, we have for Chris Butcher. Oh, goodness me. Chris Butcher's getting squeezed into the wall by Matthew Lloyd there and spinning out. Just a couple of laps to go now, and Joe Higgins on the attack for the lead. About 10 cars queued up behind the leader here. Houghton under fire from Higgins, tries to ride the hit out. Higgins up the inside, retakes the lead. This is terrific racing from the Stocks Karts. This has got to be the most fun you can have on an oval. 471 Alistair Houghton back up the inside, side by side with Joe Higgins in 229. 1 lap to go in this brilliant Stocks Karts final. Absolute mayhem all the way and some brilliant racing up front. Well, the drivers loving every second of this, and I'm sure the supporters are as well. Down the back straight we go for the final time. Alistair Houghton with the lead in 471. Is he going to come under fire into the final bend? I don't think they're going to get close enough to him. And it's 471 Alistair Houghton who's coming round the final turn to take the win. What a brilliant race. 2nd place goes to Joe Higgins, James Hall-Morton 3rd, and Liam Powell takes 4th. Jordan Thackray dropping back a bit in the last couple of laps there. So well done, Alistair Houghton in 471, leading home a whole set of junior Stocks Kart graduates there. Houghton the winner by 0.4 of a second ahead of Higgins, Hall-Morton, Powell, Thackray, and early leader Chris Girdler fighting back to take 6th ahead of hire driver Josh Birkin in number 902. Alistair Houghton getting the fastest lap of the race, the only lap under 22 seconds. Well, that was quite brilliant stuff then. We'll be back with the big boys, the BriscaF1s and V8 Hotstocks after a short break here on Premier Sports. Don't go away, more stock car action coming up next. Welcome back to the Peak District here on Premier Sports, getting ready to resume the action here at Buxton Raceway. Our next race will be the final for the V8 Hotstocks. Unlike the BriscaF1s, these cars powered mainly by Rover V8 engines and running on smaller tyres. We've got 17 of them for the meeting final. Blue grader Luke Moore, number 409, won both heats, so he'll be going for a hat-trick in this one. We've got the gold top here, number 1, Adam Joyce, starting from the back of the grid. Other stars to look out for include the vastly experienced 355 Brian Andrew, treble 2 Guy Jolly, number of lady racers as well, including Phoebe Wayman, number 211, who we heard from at the start of the show. Also Hayley Williams, number 26, our only yellow grader. out also for the under-25s champion, number 69, Matt Barnard. We're on board with another of the ladies, 154, Sophie Maynard, in among the blue tops, ex-national mini-stock star. 482 Martin Fletcher and 176 of Steve Young ahead of her. This will be a 20-lap race for the V8 Hotstocks. Haven't seen too much of them on Premier Sports this year, but they are a very spectacular formula in their own right. So away we go then over 20 laps. It's Amy Jagger in 525 I should say, who leads them away. A fairly slippery track. There's Phoebe Wayman, the pink car in the middle of the red superstars. There's Matt Barnard, number 69, the reigning under-25s champion. Gold top number 1, Adam Joyce, former Rebels gold top as well. It's 525 Amy Jagger, who leads Hayley Williams in 26. There's our double heat winner, very sideways, 409 of Luke Moore. Hayley Williams moving through into the lead in car 26. Number 17, George Riley, newcomer this year, under fire there, coming round turns 1 and 2. Adam Joyce getting through on the inside, Matt Barnard in there. Our Canberra car of Sophie Maynard, and 409 of Luke Moore on the outside. Phoebe Wayman dives to the inside. Maynard gets spun out and gets collected there in the front wheel. I think that was by Luke Moore in the 409. So that will delay our double heat winner, as well as the 154 of Maynard. 26 of Hayley Williams who leads the way around the first few laps. Straight in goes Phoebe Wayman there, courtesy of the 355 of Brian Andrew. They hit the wall on turns 3 and 4. Fairly easy to ride out hits here at Buxton around the wall and keep going, as Phoebe has done there. Matt Barnard side by side with Steve Young in the 176 Cup. Barnard from Staffordshire, moved up from National Mini Stocks. We've got a load of former National Mini Stocks races in the V8. Certainly seems to be the formula of choice. Hayley Williams is one of them. He's clear in the lead of this one, with Adam Joyce up to second from the back. Amy Jagger still there in third. There is Joyce, the superstar grey lights flashing away on his roof. 409 Luke Moore, our double heat winner. It's Hayley Williams clear in the lead. Took most of last year off to have her daughter Amelia. You see her cheering her mum on today, I'm sure. Through goes Matt Barnard in 69, past Amy Jagger, chased by 409 of Luke Moore. Ross Martin Fletcher in 482. He's on the centre. Adam Joyce chasing down our leader Hayley Williams. It's Barnard third, Moore is fourth. Coming through for fifth there, that's one of the Spencer brothers. 498 Ollie Spencer. His brother 298 Tom is also in this race. They're the sons of Les Spencer, ex-BriscaF1, number 98, the North Warwickshire farmer. There's Tom Spencer in 298, battling with Steve Young. And Adam Joyce has now caught our race leader Hayley Williams. Adam Joyce runs a heavy haulage company by trade. Former Rebels Racing gold top from Burton-on-Trent, goes to the inside, he goes through into the lead at turn 1. So rapid progress by Adam Joyce in car number 1. The gold top champion clearing off in front now, ahead of Hayley Williams in second. Matt Barnard still third in the 69 car, I think. Yes, there he is. Ahead of the 409, which is Luke Moore. Fifth behind them is Ollie Spencer. Amy Jagger still going well in the top 10 in 525. Her first full season in the V8s. Martin Fletcher had got going again, but he pulls off to the centre once more in 482. Somebody else pulling in there as well. That's Sean Bowman in 324, the Hertfordshire driver. Number 1, Adam Joyce, coming up to lap James Billows in car 402. Continues on his merry way. The gold top looking for another final win. Had mixed fortunes since winning the gold last year. Hayley Williams still second, then we've got Barnard, Moore, Spencer, Ollie Spencer that is. And the rest of them come through. See the track drying, particularly on the outside line. There is a dry line emerging, as they say in Grand Prix racing. Adam Joyce in the clear in number 1. Further back, George Riley under fire, and he's been spun aside into the wall there by Tom Spencer in 298, bouncing around the wall there. George Riley, the blue raider in number 17, keeps going. He's got some damage to the outside of the car. Look at the right rear, there's a piece of metal hanging off there. Looks like he'll have to be flagged in for that by the starter. That's a wheel guard hanging off the car. He's under fire there from Guy Jolly in treble 2. That could inflict more damage as he's fired in there. We look from Sophie Maynard's onboard camera, still going after her earlier slip-up with Luke Moore. Phoebe Wayman now challenging 298 Tom Spencer. Terry Hawkins in 2.75 coming through past George Riley in the 17. Riley's going to have to be flagged in because of that trailing piece of metal on the right rear of his car. See the white flag with the red cross going out in the background there. That means technical disqualification, means there's a problem with the car and you have to retire. That's being shown to George Riley as Phoebe Wayman nearly loses it there with an attack on Tom Spencer in 2.98. Sophie Maynard behind them in 1.54. Wayman at the inside, she goes through. Father and daughter, British champions both, Frankie Wayman Jr. and Phoebe. There's our leader, Amy Jagger bounces off the wall in 5.25. There is Adam Joyce, comes up to attack Steve Young in 1.76. Goes through down the back straights. Adam Joyce looking good here. Are we going to see a gold top take the final? Down the home straight, 4 laps left to run now. Hayley Williams further back in second place. There's a cushion of 2 back markers between the two of them. Amy Jagger spun there on turn 2. Looks like she's out of it. Adam Joyce continues to lead the way in number 1. Gold top in 2 formulas, Rebels and V8 Hotstocks. Luke Moore reeling in Hayley Williams for second place. Matt Barnard behind them, so Moore's got ahead of Barnard. Adam Joyce continuing to lead then. Is he slowing down there, or have we gone yellow flags? I think Adam Joyce is slowing down. Yeah, there's no yellow flags out. I think he's got a problem. Yes, Adam Joyce is slowing. Oh dear, the leader's in trouble. He's going to lose the lead to Hayley Williams, I think. He's trying to hang on. I don't know what the problem is there for Adam Joyce. There's clearly something wrong with the car. He pulls up on the outside of turn 2. Oh, what a shame for Adam Joyce. He drops out of the race. And it's Hayley Williams in 26, under fire from Luke Moore now in 4.09. This race is not over yet. We go into the final lap. Hayley Williams could take her first final win since returning to racing this year. Down the back straight, past Adam Joyce's car they go. Luke Moore, I'm sure, is going to lunge in with the bumper to try and take the win. He's trying, he lunges in. He misses the back of Hayley Williams, and 26, Hayley Williams comes through to take the win. Luke Moore just holds off Matt Barnard for second. You have to feel for Adam Joyce there, though. His car letting him down with a couple of laps to go. I thought the caution flags were about to come out when I saw him slowing, but it turns out to be a car problem for Adam Joyce as the red flags go out on the V8 Hotstocks final. Number 26, Hayley Williams takes her first final since returning to racing after giving birth to her daughter Amelia. So Hayley Williams the winner by just under a second ahead of Luke Moore, with Matt Barnard in third, Ollie Spencer and Phoebe Wayman next home. And now it's time for the Brisca Formula 1 final. 20 cars on the drying track here at Buxton. Paul Hines, the only one we lost in that Heat 1 pile-up. Wins so far for Matt Newson and Luke Davidson. Will either of them get a double here? I think the likes of the Waymans, Tom Harris and so on will have something to say about that. Look out for John Fortune, Scotsman in 1.64, has impressed hugely on his debut weekend in BriscaF1 so far, the XF2 World Champion, starting at the front of the Reds alongside Frankie JJ in treble 5, Frankie Wayman Jr. He's got 16 of Matt Newson behind him. Wayne Marshall in the green 483 and 460 in the purple car there. Chris Cook will lead the field away. 20 laps of racing, 20 BriscaF1s. We've got a spinner already, Bradley Harrison in 25. That's going to send a few cars wide into the wall, and one of them is John Fortune. That's his steering broken. Curse the commentator for John Fortune. Unfortunately, he is out of the race without completing a lap. 483 Wayne Marshall, the early leader, but going for the inside number 70 of Aaron Leach. He goes through and takes over the lead. Second place in 101. It is Tristan Jackson. So Wayne Marshall dropping back. We're on board with Tom Harris riding on his front bumper. He chases down the fellow higher graders ahead of him. He's already got past Chris Cook there, who's dropped to the tail of the field by the look of it. Now attacking Stu Sheville in 5.18. A rapid start made by Tom the Hitman Harris. Maybe Davidson attacks Wayne Marshall and wallop straight in he goes. Luke Davidson, I should say. Jamie, his father, the meeting sponsor. So Wayne Marshall able to rejoin there as Aaron Leach runs out wide, but he's still leading the way. Carl Hawkins attacking him in 1.75. Third place, we've got Steve Webster in 4.01. Junior Wayman, the world champions, up to 4. Tom Harris is 5th. Luke Davidson in 6th place in 4.64. 5.18 of Stu Sheville, the leading Scotsman. The only Scotsman now that John Fortune is out of the race. And a change up front. Carl Hawkins has taken over. In goes the bumper from Tom Harris on the back of Junior Wayman. Getting a bit of revenge for the British Championship there. So Harris up to third place now, chasing down our two yellow grades at the front. And Aaron Leach tangles with Stu Cheville. They go out on turn 3. That's claimed Tristan Jackson in 101 as well. So the early leader, Aaron Leach, has gone. It's Carl Hawkins in 175 who has got the lead ahead of 401 of Steve Webster. Slide out wide there, they're spinning all over the place now. Is there some oil down on track there, I wonder, at turn 3, or is it a wet patch? It hasn't quite dried out from the earlier rain yet. Whatever, Tom Harris has come through into the lead in 84. They seem to slide sideways all on their own there, the two yellow tops. They may have got a bit of a shunted assistance from Tom Harris, but no, now he slides wide as well. There's some sort of fluid on the track there, I think, at turn 3. Possibly from John Fortune's car. That might explain why Aaron Leach went spinning out there along with a couple of others. We're on board with Luke Davidson in 464, ready for the restart. Now the track has been checked and treated. Harris, who leads the way ahead of Hawkins, Junior Wayman, Luke Davidson in 4th place. There we go, the power comes on, and Tom Harris anticipated the restart superbly there. So did Davidson down the inside of the yellow grader. Carl Hawkins sends him out wide. Looking damp once again. Yes, the rain has returned, so it's 84 Tom Harris who has got the lead. Junior Wayman under fire from Craig Finnegan. Where's he come from? In 2nd and 3rd places, so Craig Finnegan with a great restart there. It's Tom Harris out front in car number 84. 2nd place Junior Wayman. Rest of the pack fairly well bunched up behind them. Tom Harris just taking it easy there round turns 3 and 4. He doesn't want to slide wide like a few have done behind him. Davidson was one, Danny Wayman and Carl Hawkins also going wide there. Craig Finnegan under fire from Luke Davidson for 3rd place. Behind them Bradley Harrison in the 25. And he's on the lead lap and running well, because we saw him have that spin at the start of the race. Luke Davidson having a go at Craig Finnegan. Craig, the 2014 world champion, won that at Coventry. Still your leader is Tom Harris in car 84, also a former world champion, won his title at Kings Lynn on the Shale. Going towards the closing stages now, Junior Wayman can't get close enough to challenge one of his main rivals here, Tom Harris. Down the back straight he goes in the 84 car. The car's been raced, among others, by Rob Speak in the past. The national points champion last year, but not defending his title this year. He's turned from driver to promoter at Skegness. Luke Davidson on the back bumper of Craig Finnegan there, still fighting away for the minor placing. This is the battle for 3rd place. They're quite well ahead of the rest now as Davidson makes a mistake there at turn 4, just slid out wide, that's lost him momentum. Bradley Harrison behind them, then a gap back to Frankie JJ, who's next in the order in treble 5. Higher graders holding sway here in this meeting final. Made treacherous by the condition. It's Harris who leads from Wayman. Finnegan, then it's Davidson in 464. Bradley Harrison behind them in 25. Good recovery from his spin. I was going to say on the first lap, but he didn't even get to the start line, did he, before he was spun around? Tom Harris then. Maybe he's going to take over the Rain Master title from Ben Riley. Wayman in 2nd, less than 5 laps to go now in this meeting final. Tom Harris wins, of course, in the Grand National. If he takes part, we'll have to go off the lap handicap. Here's a battle between Danny Wayman, Frankie JJ, Ben Riley, and the recovered Tristan Jackson in 101. Matt Newson behind them. A very quiet race here for the Heat 1 winner. No stopping Tom Harris, then car 84. As Craig Finnegan gets rid of a back marker out wide. That's Wayne Marshall in 483. It's the 84 of Tom Harris. Can Junior Wayman catch him in these closing stages? I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to run out of time. It's going to be another final win for Tom Harris. Coming up to lap, Steve Whittle in the 183 car. Gives him a bit of bumper, let him know he's there, and Whittle lets him through. Junior Wayman going to use Whittle as a cue ball here, perhaps to try and knock Tom Harris out of the lead. Now he's taking him wide there at turns 3 and 4 and goes through. So into the last lap of this meeting final we go then. Tom Harris all set for victory in car 84. Is Junior Wayman going to launch a kamikaze attack on the final turn. I don't think he's quite close enough. Here's going to be a win for car 84. Here he comes around the final turn. Tom Harris takes the win ahead of Junior Wayman and Craig Finnegan. That's Craig's best result on tarmac for a while. Well done indeed to Tom Harris. Another final win in the book. Could we see him wearing silver or even gold this year? We'll find out later in the season. Junior Wayman, the current holder of the gold, taking second ahead of the 55 of Craig Finnegan. Celebrating with some power slides there. Tom Harris the winner by 0.6 of a second ahead of Junior Wayman and Craig Finnegan, with Luke Davidson and Bradley Harrison rounding out to the top 5. 13 of the 20 starters going the distance in that final. Tom Harris got the fastest lap of the race at 16.188.
84, Tom Harris, winner of the final. That was all under control.
Yeah, it was very tricky when it rained halfway through. Luckily we all had dry tyres on, and basically it was who could make the least mistakes. And Frankie started to close, but I knew there weren't enough laps for him to get to me.
Even with not as many cars as normal, there's still a lot of red tops, and you have to work hard still in these races.
Yeah, very much so, because these sort of meetings you do get a lot of the top boys, that go week in and week out, and so although there's less cars, it's probably harder because that you get someone that gets a break, there's no traffic to slow them down.
And there's a possibility of a new chassis coming out soon?
Yeah, we're just Seth was actually working on it today at the garage, and big thanks to Jamie and Cecil, because without those I wouldn't be here, as many others wouldn't be on track either, and I think a lot of people in the sport need to realise that and remember that.
Well, best of luck with the new car or the old car, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks very much, cheers.
Last race of the day for the V8 Hotstocks then. 13 cars on track for their all-comers race. Hayley Williams having won the final from yellow grade, starting from the back of the grid. Leading them round is 525 Amy Jagger, our lone white grader. Adam Joyce back out there after his disappointment in the final. Came within a couple of laps of winning, but his car let him down. There's Matt Barnard starting alongside Sean Bowman in 324, man from Buckingham. Not from Hertfordshire, as I said earlier. Apologies to Sean. Back of the blue grade there, Luke Moore, double heat winner, going for a hat-trick. It's not often we see a driver win a hat-trick without taking the final. Amy Jagger at the front of the grid then, 525 will lead them away ahead of Sophie Maynard. Green flag is down, we're underway over 16 laps. Jagger leads them into the first turn. The sun now out here at Buxton. See what I mean about the weather here? It can change, well, within the space of a lap sometimes here at Buxton. It's Amy Jagger who leads the way at this very picturesque raceway. Sophie Maynard in second, Luke Moore third. Brian Andrew chasing in fourth place in 355. Ollie Spencer bumpers Matt Barnard out wide in car 69. Chasing then Guy Jolly in the treble 2. Adam Joyce behind on the gold top in number 1. Amy Jagger's run wide into turn 3, and through goes Maynard into the lead in car 154. So the two lady racers battling for the lead there. Jagger locks up going into turn 1. Brian Andrew will get through sole number 17 of George Riley. 324 Bowman attacking into turn 3 on the back of Guy Jolly in treble 2. Lost James Billows in 402. He's pulled off. Leading the way it is Sophie Maynard in 154. No, it's not, because Luke Moore has got through in 409. So Luke Moore, your new leader, going for his third win of the day, as Phoebe Wayman attacks Tom Spencer there. They run round the wall. Brian Andrew under fire from George Riley. Tom Spencer and behind them in 298. It's Moore that leads from Maynard. Andrew heading the battle for third place in the black car. Matt Barnard and Sean Bowman passing Amy Jagger. Behind them is treble 2 of Guy Jolly. Plenty of overtaking all the way down the lineup, despite the smaller field of 13 cars for this one. Blue graders all the way up front at the moment. Luke Moore continues to lead. Bowman goes for the back bumper of Matt Barnard, doesn't quite connect. Goes the tail for the lead. Moore and Maynard. Further back in third, still Brian Andrew, but here comes Tom Spencer in 298 coming through. Up into fourth position. Jolly under fire from Tom Spencer. It's Ollie Spencer attacking for the lead, sorry. The Blue Raiders fighting it out. They've dropped behind Ollie Spencer now in 498. Tom a few places further back. Still up front it is Luke Moore from Sophie Maynard. Luke has a bit of BriscaF1 experience from a few years ago, as Matt Barnard gets sent wide there on turn 2. Bowman and Tom Spencer go through, so does Guy Jolly in treble 2. Matt Barnard showing stronger form on the shale tracks in his first full season in the Formula. Already got his first title, the Under-25 Championship, won at Northampton last season. I believe he's the youngest ever winner of a V8 Hotstocks race. Third place is Ollie Spencer. It's the two blue graders up front. Moore still holding off Maynard. 4.98 of Spencer in third. Down the back straight they go. 4.09 Luke Moore still leading. Guy Jolly attacking Sean Bowman. Behind them is Barnard as Maynard tries to get the bumper in there off turn 4. She can't quite dislodge the race leader. Now towards turn 1, she'll try again. In goes the bumper. Always a hard hitter in her days in the national mini stocks as well, Sophie Maynard. Sean Bowman attacks Guy Jolly. Good fight going on between them two. Further back, Matt Barnard trying to make it a three-way fight. Here are the leaders then. Luke Moore still hanging on for dear life at the front of the pack. Ollie Spencer in 4.98 closing on these two as well. Is the bumper going to go in at turn 3? Amy Jagger spins out there. She's just ahead of the leaders in 5.25. They're going to have to go wide to avoid her, and Luke Moore went too wide. And Maynard has got through. So Amy Jagger spun out there on the inside of turns 3 and 4, hit the inner curve, and leaders had to go wide to avoid her, and Sophie Maynard saw her chance and got through to take the lead. Now right up with Luke Moore, he's 4.98 of Ollie Spencer. I think Tom Spencer, his brother's up to 4th place now, but it's Sophie Maynard in 1.54 who leads the way. Luke Moore trying his hardest to hold off Ollie Spencer for 2nd place, and in goes the bumper and wallop straight into the side of Amy Jagger's car. Goes Luke Moore, courtesy of the front bumper of Ollie Spencer in 4.98. Those two well clear. It's Tom Spencer now 3rd ahead of Brian Andrew. Then we've got George Riley in 17, Guy Jolly, and still Sean Bowman. Can't get past Guy Jolly. Trying for several laps now. We're in the closing stages. Sophie Maynard in 1.54. Like she's heading for victory. Another one for the ladies in V8 Hotstocks. We've seen so many lady racers in recent years in this formula. Looks like Sophie is heading for victory here in our all-comers race. She takes the checkered flag ahead of Ollie Spencer in 2nd place in 4.98. Some bumpers going in on the final turn, and Sean Bowman's finally got his man. He spins out Guy Jolly on the very last bend. Luke Moore makes it to the finish, but well down the order. Behind Phoebe Wayman, who had a quieter race there in 2.11. Confirm the result then. Sophie Maynard the winner ahead of Ollie and Tom Spencer, the two brothers. Hayley Williams making it up to 10th place from the back of the grid. 11 cars out of the 13 starters going the distance. The last race of the day then, the Grand National for the Brisca Formula 1 stock cars. We have 14 cars out there. Tom Harris taking the lap handicap, having won the final. Again, drier conditions for this one. Rain arriving at the worst time earlier on, just a couple of races here at Buxton today. We'll look back from Aaron Leach in number 70. He's carrying our onboard camera. Looking back at Carl Hawkins and Stuart Sheville in among the yellow grey. We've also got Steve Webster in there in 4.01. Junior Wayman's out there, so are Frankie JJ and Danny Wayman, Matt Newson, Luke Davidson, Ben Riley as well, looking for better fortune in this one in 4.22. Those are some of your potential winners for this one. We're waiting to get underway then with this Grand National. 16 laps the distance. Wayne Marshall, your lone white grader in the Matt Newson hire car, will lead them off, number 483. Tom Harris just in front of him, but of course he is a lap down, having won the meeting final. A slightly depleted field for this Grand National then. There is Harris. With Wayne Marshall behind him, he'll be leading the race around the first lap. See if he can hold off the yellow tops in this one. Here we go then, the green flag about to go down on our final race of the day here at Buxton. Away they go up towards the first turn. Red Raiders and Superstars already jockeying for position further back. Matt Newson has gone to the front of the red tops. It's Marshall who leads the way, but already putting the bumper in is Steve Webster. Out goes Marshall out wide. Webster in 4.01 will take up the lead. So Wayne Marshall didn't last long in front. It's in 1.75 Hawkins in 2nd place. 3rd is Stu Sheville. Then our lone blue grader in this race, 25 Bradley Harrison. We look back for Aaron Leach, who didn't make the best of starts in number 70. We can see Matt Newson chasing us. We come down into turns 3 and 4. Through goes Newson, followed by the 4.64 of Luke Davidson. Already a heat winner today. Leads Matt Newson. The two heat winners running together there, ahead of Ben Riley in 4.22. front so far, 4:01 of Steve Webster, and he hanged on for the win. Hawkins in 1:75 in second. Third, Stu Sheville in 5:18. It's Yellow Graders all the way at the moment in this Grand National event. Bradley Harrison fourth. And first of the Red Tops is Luke Davidson ahead of the 16 of Matt Newson. Coming down to race leader 4:01 of Steve Webster is Carl Hawkins, 1:75 to the lunge in with the bumper. Saw him take a heat win, Carl Hawkins, on British Championship Day at Sheffield, where Junior Wayman retained the title. Bradley Harrison still fourth. Davidson fifth. Sixth place we have the number 16 of Matt Newson. On board with Davidson, fifth place, and running wide there. Bradley Harrison got the bumper in on Stu Sheville Jr., but went wide himself. Davidson makes up one place. I think he's going to make up two if he comes through here on the inside of turns 1 and 2. Yes, he's done it. Luke Davidson goes through. Chasing after our Yellow Graders up front. He's up to second now, chasing Steve Webster. Webster leads it round turns 1 and 2 ahead of Davidson. Stu Sheville is third. Carl Hawkins has dropped back there. Yes, he's dropped back to fifth place. I thought we lost Carl Hawkins for a second there, but he's back in fifth place as Davidson up the inside coming out of turn 2, and he takes the lead. So Luke Davidson for the second time today into the lead ahead of Steve Webster. Third, number 5:18, Stu Sheville. Hawkins running wide under attack from Ben Riley, the Rainmaster, in 4:22. Steve Webster continues to hold second place. Third is Sheville, fourth now is Newson, fifth Riley, sixth Bradley Harrison. Moving through to seventh is Danny Wayman, Junior Wayman ninth behind Carl Hawkins. 2-2 Ben Riley has had a tough day so far. Looks like he's back on form in this Grand National. Leaders heading down the back straight then. Still Luke Davidson up front by a clear margin in 4:64 ahead of Webster, Newson and Sheville now fourth. Stu Sheville, the lone Scotsman, left in the meeting now that John Fortune has withdrawn. Going to be able to attack back again. Looks like the conditions might be about to worsen once again. But we keep this dry track until the conclusion of this GM. Danny Wayman passing Ben Riley. Stu Sheville has a look down the inside. Oh, and cheers Sheville up over the curb. Almost up on the two wheels there at turn 1. Nice bit of stunt driving, but it's dropped him back a few spots. The Scotsman. Coming towards the closing stages now then. 3 laps to go for Luke Davidson in car 464. I don't think he's going to be caught here. He's lapped Wayne Marshall in 483. Danny Wayman bumper Steve Webster out wide. Junior Wayman in there too. We haven't seen anything of Tom Harris yet in car 84. Picking off places slowly from the back of the field. Danny Wayman ahead of his brother, and Steve Webster, and 4:22 of Ben Riley, 25 chasing is Bradley Harrison. On to the last lap then of this Grand National. We're not going to catch Luke Davidson in the 464 car. Out of turn 2, down the back straight for the final time. He won the second heat in style. He's going to win the Grand National in style. 464 Luke Davidson power slides his way across the line for a clear victory. Matt Newson comes over in second ahead of the Waymans. The first of those Yellow Graders who set the early pace home was Steve Webster in fifth. We'll confirm that in just a second. No doubt about your winner though. 2 out of 4 for Luke Davidson today. A heat and Grand National double. Smokes the tyres in celebration. Luke Davidson taking the win by over 2.5 seconds ahead of Matt Newson, with the Waymans third and fourth, Steve Webster fifth. Tom Harris set fastest lap on his way to 9th place from the lap handicap.
464, Luke Davidson winning the Grand National. That was a nice way to round out the meeting.
Yeah, we've had a good day all day to be honest. Fourth in the final. I would have liked a top 3 or even a 1-2 with Tom, but we'll take fourth, and then we took a win in the Grand National to round the day off. All in all, good day.
And Buxton's been a good track to you this season.
Yeah, we've had a couple of good meetings here now. Found a good setup with the car. Obviously brought it back today with the same setup we had last month, and it's worked well.
And are you doing Ipswich next weekend?
Yeah, we'll be doing Ipswich and then on to Northampton on Sunday.
World qualifying points?
Yeah, we need a few more. So we'll hopefully have a good go at it next week, see if we can carry on what we're doing at the minute.
Well, good luck and we'll see you there.
Thank you very much.
Let's take a look at some of the stats at the end of that meeting then. Well, Tom Harris got the fastest lap of the day, 15.966 seconds set in the Grand National, just a few hundredths clear of Junior Wayman. It's Junior who's now top of the grading points, clear of Stuart Smith, on Nigel Green down in 6th. They were absent today. Tom Harris, Matt Newson and Danny Wayman 3rd, 4th and 5th in the grading points. So that's about all from Buxton Raceway today. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Next up, it's off to the fast open tarmac confines of Ipswich. It's goodbye till then.